on, girls.
Hang on. I don't know.
If you're comfortable coming in to halter them, come on in. Yeah, no, don't. If not, they won't touch you.
Okay, Kate, you want to do the mineral salt thing? Well, you know, let's just take what we can get. We can take them all, we can take them all. If not, come on, girls. Come on, girls. They're not going to hurt you, but they get so enthusiastic that I think what we'll do is we'll put the halter on them. They're all halter broken. They do kick sometimes, but with their hind leg, but it's rare, and especially after we have a halter on them. The ones that kick the most are the alpacas. These are all llamas, except for some little white ones. There's one right there that are really fluffy. This is an alpaca right here. Alpacas are smaller, but have way better fiber. You've heard of alpaca sweaters? That's what they make.
I like the dark color. Oh, sorry.
This is cartilage right here, and they'll flatten their nose if it tightens down. So you want to keep it high like that, and otherwise that's perfect.
Thank you. And then they know.
She's halter broken. She knows to pay attention. All right. Hold our arms out wide, and she'll probably not try to get around.
Come here.
Alpaca or llama? Which one do you prefer? Right now, just don't touch her butt so she won't be inclined to kick. Okay. Grab her. Attaboy, grab her. Okay, we'll try it again. All right, switch it, place. Somebody come in here and keep these from coming out.
I'm probably not going to get it.
Let's see if we can just make sure they don't go by us. And if they're there, go ahead and grab one. That's a ditto. Stay there, ditto. Ditto's good. You gotta. Oh, we need a rope. I just got little ones. Here, we have a rope halter here. There's one. Put that on ditto. Now we'll grab one of these alpacas. There we are. Okay. So these halters.
Can I put it down?
You bet.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of people like these halters better, but I don't.
No, those other ones seem so easy.
Well, yeah. And these are really easy too, except that they're often don't fit very well. And you have this buckle to deal with.
Yeah. That one kicked.
But
Come on.
that's my well-trained alpacas. You see that?
Yes.
All right.
Buddy. I think he surprised Kristen.
Did he?
I think he definitely hugged her. I can't.
He hugged both of us, I know, but I didn't know.
Yeah, he did. Like, hey, we're sorry. He's like, hey, you come here.
I think that you have to make a distinction between alpacas and llamas. If we're talking alpacas, they're bred mostly for fiber, so wool, like sheep, but their fiber is generally of a much higher quality than sheep wool, and it makes it highly desirable and more valuable. For llamas in North America, they're used primarily as companion animals. And so you can use the fiber, and it's okay. It's not as nice as alpaca fiber, but it's still quite nice. So they're really companions. In South America, though, they use them for as meat animals. They eat them, use them for fiber, and as draft animals. They're the main staple for those who live in the Andes. But the nice thing is, llamas are actually quite easily halter broken. So you can train them to halter within an afternoon, really, and that makes them quite a lot of fun to handle, even for little kids or for women or smaller folks. And they don't bite. Okay, they might spit occasionally, but not often. It's actually really good for llamas and alpacas here in Saskatchewan, the plains region, because it's so dry. That's ideal for llamas and alpacas. And the cold weather, they do well in the cold weather until it gets to about 25 below zero, and then they need to have shelter. They don't have to have heated shelter, but they have to be able to get in out of the wind. But down to 25 below, they're right as rain. But they suffer in the heat and humidity. So in places like the American Midwest and on south, it can be difficult for them. In the Andes, of course, that's quite cool and high altitude and dry. That's ideal. Oh, I started with probably 3, and these animals have been donated to the University of Saskatchewan over a period of a decade, and people who knew the work that I was doing and were interested, they would offer occasional females. So 1 or 2 animals here and 1 or 2 animals there, and after about 10 or 15 years, I finally had a herd that was big enough to do work with. Oh, there she got it. Yeah, so I owe a real debt of gratitude to the llama and alpaca breeders of Saskatchewan and Alberta, where most of these animals came from. Actually, we even got some from British Columbia. As a clinician, I saw more llamas and alpacas than I saw Holstein cows, because at the time they were being imported, and they were extremely valuable, which meant that people were willing to spend a lot and were very concerned, and it was an exciting time. It was a lot of fun to work on these animals. Nobody knew anything about them, and so pretty soon all the clinicians the senior clinicians would give the llamas and all the new species, give those to the residents. How you doing? Good, good. She's being a little reticent.
Just now, since the truck came
Ah, okay.
they're all fixed.
Yeah, so anyway, so the residents, and I was one, ended up getting all the experience, and pretty soon we knew more about them than anybody else did, and that's how I got interested. And I ended up doing my PhD on them, and I went to the high Andes in Peru to do part of my PhD there, and we worked on llamas and alpacas at a high altitude research station. So that's how I got interested. This group of animals I use mostly for my research. They're my research herd, and so we do reproductive studies on fertility, and we use ultrasonography to look at the babies and look at their ovaries and understand a little bit better about what makes them fertile and what makes them able to ovulate and not. So they have a pretty cushy life. But we do shear them once a year, and the fiber usually goes off to a co-op. There are some small mini mills around, and we can sell it or give it to them and let them clean it, card it, and spin it. It doesn't get any better than this. We got all of our friends and nieces and nephews, and it's a beautiful day in October in Saskatchewan. It doesn't get any better than this. No, I wouldn't. Okay, now we can take halters off. That's awesome. She's definitely pregnant.
I'll hold it. See, I told you that was exciting.
And you've got ultrasound documentation. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
I see it.
I want to see it. Did you see what part of the baby did you see? What did you? See, that's what happens. That's why we have the barn door closed.
If you liked what you saw and want to see more, check out the various links on this page.